Yes.
That was nice.
Mike needs sleep. And
Yeah.
Mike will elaborate when Mike
yeah.
likes to. Yeah. Because I'm just
Mike
wired
talk
that
like
way.
Hulk.
I mean, I'm a night owl. I can't go to sleep before 12. It's like it's just the way I'm set.
Yeah, because there's, what the funny part? Well, because we're probably recording anyway, but
yes, we are.
You know what the funny part is? Is it just me, or did nighttime, like late night, like TV begin to suck? And when I say that, I'm not like talking about like the late night shows.
Not
I'm
like
Leno
versus Letterman or anything like that.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Like now, like not Fallon and not Kimmel and Colbert. I mean, but there used to be stuff where you could find it in the evening at night where it was like, like 3 episodes of Simpsons. Let's go. Okay? Like it was like, okay, I'll watch Simpsons for like an hour or so, and then I'll go to bed. And now it's like, good luck finding that. It's like, or I don't know. It's like there's just not. Or like it's like, okay, where's the 2-hour Law and Order SVU marathon that I could use at like 10?
I think there's still one network that runs like Law and Order like 24/7.
Yeah, well, not 24/7, but USA runs it like 1,000,000 hours every day. But yeah, that's USA. And in fairness, their parent company is NBC, so that makes a lot of sense. So that makes all the sense in the world.
But you want to marathon anything, you can marathon Squares to the Round Table podcast. Welcome, everyone. This here is the show of the name that I just mentioned. And with me is Jeff.
Hello.
Hey. And
hello.
Unfortunately, Ivan is on personal business, so hopefully he'll be back when we are back.
Yeah.
Hopefully in 2 weeks. So
it's coincidental that Ivan's been gone since the alligator showed up, and now the alligator's gone.
You think Chance the Snapper is really a disguise for?
No, maybe Ivan put him in there. He was like, he got too big. I can't keep him anymore. And
and at the same time, he's cleaning his apartment. And clean out his apartment. So, it's like, so I've got moving stuff to do, and they're like, okay,
like a giant, like a 5-foot alligator. By the way, nice how it like takes like one day. I don't know. In fairness, though, it is kind of funny because it's like, okay, you wouldn't do all the things that that volunteer guy said, like close down the park, close this down, don't let anybody around. And it might have been done in like a day. Okay, the other guy comes in because they had to pay him because he's like a professional. They're like, oh, this has gone too far, and it's like, okay, boom, done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, sometime re-recorded last week. We still had our crisis here in Chicago of the alligator loose in Humboldt Park, and now, of course, by the time I put it out,
of course, that's how it always works. Right?
They hired a dude, and the following day they got him.
And then he had to throw out the first pitch at Wrigley Field,
and he took him put him on a Ferris wheel at Navy Pier.
Did they?
I think they did.
And here's the thing: somebody else said this, and I'm going to go along with it. They let him turn on the Buckingham Fountain, and I'm like, they turn off the Buckingham Fountain?
They turn it off at night? I thought they just had lights under it at night.
I thought it was like once the summer started, I thought it was like 24/7 they ran that thing.
Nope, I guess not. Maybe they turn it off for a few hours at night.
I don't know. That's strange. That's the first I ever heard that. I was like under the impression during like the spring and up until like it starts to get to where it's like, yep, weather's too crappy, might freeze the pipes. Nope, can't do that anymore.
Can you still like climb into it and like wade with your feet in it?
It's been way too long. I can't answer that one.
As I've never been to Buckingham Fountain, so I guess I'm not a true Chicagoan.
Yeah, but that will get us away from every conversation. If I go there, which is, all right, fine, we're there. As long as you're not putting ketchup on your hot dog, everything should be fine.
We know, Jeff. We know We know of your animosity toward ketchup.
I don't have... I don't have animosity towards ketchup. I think it's a fine condiment for when it's needed.
For burgers.
Burgers, fries, a few other things too. But, yeah, you...
Not... What about a brat or Polish sausage? Do those count? I usually eat those plain anyway.
Well, it was really funny because it's funny you say that. There was somebody who was giving me garbage about ketchup on hot dogs. I said, "Oh, do you put it on a bratwurst?" They're like, "Hell no! What are you, crazy?" I'm like, "Aha, aha."
Well, a bratwurst and hot dogs are just similar in shape only.
They're still encased sausages. They're not that far away.
We here at Squares of the Round Table, we do not discriminate. If you want to put whatever you want on your food, enjoy it.
Unless it's ketchup on a hot dog.
Okay.
Or
so Jeff,
pineapple on a pizza or some other.
Yeah. Pineapple on pizza. That's another thing. So Jeff, how was your week? How you been? Aside from Comic-Con nerding out.
Well, I got a chance over the weekend to. I got a good story for you.
All right.
So I got a chance to do some role playing at a place out in Warrenville called Jackaroo Games.
Jackaroo Games.
Yeah. I guess it's a combination of the two owners' names. I guess one of them is Jake and one of them is Andrew. Okay. So they called it Jackaroo or Jackaroo Games or something.
Is that like
anyway,
a jackalope?
Yeah, not a jackalope.
Okay.
But I got a chance to play. I played old school D6 Star Wars role playing from 9 o'clock in the morning until about midnight.
Oh my God!
Oh baby!
Was this one campaign?
Well, yeah. So I've been playing it in an ongoing convention and game day campaign for 20 plus years.
Is that all?
But, yeah. But I am playing a newer character, and so I'm playing a really, really low level character. I'm playing there's people at the table who are like 49th or 76th level. That's the best way I can explain it. And I'm playing a 5th level character, and I am like a young budding force power person. So the big bad is there, who's ridiculously tiered up with her lightsaber, and it looked like a light lance or something like that. And I decided that I might be able to distract her into thinking that I'm the real true Jedi in the party, even though I'm really not. So I spent what's called a force point, which allows me to double all my dice. So I started walking really, really slowly like I was some sort of badass and turned on my lightsaber, and I was like, why don't you just come on over here and me and you, let's go. I'll show you who the true force of the galaxy is. I roll. Now, on the scale, it's D6s, so I'm rolling double my con on this to con her. So I roll, and I open-ended, so I ended up rolling this insane roll, and she bought the whole thing. She buys the whole thing, which is fine, because the plan was she buys in, she comes to fight me. The people who can really beat the snot out of her can do that, from behind or, take her by surprise and knock her out, because she's pretty badass. Here's what I did not account for. I did not account for the part where, in the middle of the round, she decides that she's not only going to be on a force point like I am, she's going to decide to do what's called calling on the dark side of the force, which allows her to now take her dice and quadruple them. I also did not anticipate that she had the ability to leap 10 meters to stand in front of me at that point.
Did she do the Palpatine screech as she was
No, she was a lot more calmer and cooler. And so now she's standing right in front of me, and she's got this freaking thing, and I'm positive. Oh no, I'm not even positive. It's confirmed
You're going to die.
This is going to hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And when I say hurt a lot, I'm not getting back up after this one.
Right. You won't be getting up. You won't be getting a new lower torso like Darth Maul.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I'm kind of like standing there, and I'm like, oh boy.
Just waiting.
I'm like, it's like, and so here's the irony in this. So one of the other players does something incredibly heroic, and at the same time, I'm like, I can't chance this. I have to at least take a shot to save my own butt. So I had to quad up to get to the dark side of the Force, so that I could possibly save my own butt. But the other person was able to remove the lightsaber from her hands when she did it. And then the other one showed up at the end of the round and took her out with his lightsaber. And of course, the first words out of my character's mouth is, see, it went exactly as I planned it. And everybody looks at me and I'm like, what? It's like, I did have to, like, and my favorite was in the middle of all this. He's like, the GM's like, roll to see if you shit your pants. I'm like, yeah, I make the roll, thank God, because I'm like sitting there going, uh-oh. And which didn't help me either, because then she really did think I was like the guy.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God. And I was like just sitting there going, yeah, I've learned a few things from this encounter. This was a good plan. There were flaws. Big ones. Really, really big ones. The biggest one being, one, she apparently had the ability to, like, super leap. And two, I did not expect her to quad up. And three, I used my entire action to do to con her. I should have held one more action so that when she got right in front of me and leaped, I could have used a held action and hit her. Although I don't think it would have helped.
At least you weren't like, not the face.
No, I wouldn't have been the face.
You played your poker face, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, no. People were impressed. At the same time, they're all like, dude, you're going to die. I'm like, yup. I'm like, yeah, I just might die. So yeah, that was Saturday.
You scoundrel, you.
That was Saturday. And there were a couple other things because and the best is like two of the games were on Kashyyyk, Kashyyyk or Kashyyyk, where the Wookiees are. So two of the games were playing on the Wookiee planet, which means there's giant bugs and spiders and all kinds of crap. And I'm like, why do I want to be here? This is horrible. This is not where I want my character to be.
Oh, man.
And it's like, where do you do? I stand behind that guy with the highest character level. That's what I do. And sit there and taunt people from behind him and go, ah!
That's funny. That's cool, man. Sounds like you had a fun time.
Yeah,
also, geez, a 15-hour marathon.
Yeah, well, it was 3 4-hour games. And
okay, so it wasn't like one long one. Okay.
Right. No. Okay. I played like three different modules. So
is your guy still level 5? Or did
at the moment, yeah. He'll probably be closer to level 6 shortly. I have another character who's like in like the... See, I've played multiple characters. Otherwise, I could be up like as high as like 70. But I've played multiple characters. So, if you added all their sheet numbers up, I'd probably be really, really high up. But I have another character there right now. I can't use at the moment because he's busy. He's busy helping out Jabba the Hutt at a time when he shouldn't be doing that.
These all take place at different times during the Star Wars saga?
One
takes place during the prequels, another one...
No. All of this is actually taking place, ironically, right now between... The time frame right now for the campaign is they're before Episode 6.
Okay.
At the moment. At one point, they were before Episode... When we started the campaign, we were before Episode 4. And slowly but surely, we've moved towards that. I mean, There's like over 250 modules available.
Oof.
So yeah. No, it's been going for a long time. Matter of fact, I think I've written I know I've written at least 4 modules, and then I've written 2.5 interactives, which is like 8-hour events. But yeah, you get the idea. So I've been around for a bit and helping out. But how about you? What you got anything?
No, aside from San Diego, I've just been working. I've been told you I've had this long marathon, but I was shot down today by my boss. He said, I looked at your schedule, Mike, and we can't have you working 7 days in a row. And I said, well, actually, it's 10. And
oh, nice.
I said, no, it's a violation of labor laws. So I did a quick Google search, and there's something called the 7th Day of Rest Act or something like that for Illinois law. Yeah, like really? 1 day rest in 6 or something. 1 day rest in 7 or something like that. So they can't force me to work 7 days in a row, but there are exceptions where I can volunteer. But
why would you volunteer?
At this point, I'm like, all right, fine. So he doesn't want to deal with the paperwork, and he got in trouble last time he did it with another employee trying to cover another department. So I'm taking Wednesday off, so I'm down with that. I'm going to sleep all day. I got the grass cut after a long day today. I'm running on 4 hours sleep, so other than that, I'm great. Actually, I've been busy wiring my transformer shelves. I'm almost halfway done, so I'll be done hopefully by the time my vacation starts. Get a little bit done each night, and it's going to look great when it's done. So I'm looking forward to having it all finished.
You know, I caught a little bit of the, what's the one from 2014, the one with Mark Wahlberg?
That was Age of Extinction.
Age of Extinction?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not thrilled.
Yeah. Now, this series should have ended after Dark of the Moon, seriously. The first one was on TNT a couple days ago. No, it was yesterday. After the Cubs won yesterday, which was Sunday.
No, they didn't win.
Oh, they lost. That's right. They lost yesterday. They lost badly yesterday.
I think it was Saturday.
Yeah.
Or was it Sunday? I don't know.
No, it was Sunday because I just come home.
Okay.
And I was flipping around the channels, and TNT had on the 07 one. So the first one, the live action Transformer. So
yeah, no, I'm with you.
But no, the Mark Wahlberg, no, 4 and 5, no, just don't.
Oh, the last one was bad. I saw that.
The last night. That was garbage. That was.
The last one was absolute. Yeah, you know, because as much as here's the thing: when you're watching a Michael Bay movie, there are just certain trademark things that he seems to be able to do well, and there's that moment in the movie where you're all like, they are so screwed. They are gonna lose, and you have that moment where it's like, oh. There's no hope. And then, like, the music comes on full, and, like, Optimus Prime shows up, and it's like, oh, they're you know, like he's coming out, like he's the last gunfighter on the planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And that, honestly, that makes the whole movie. Every time they do that, that makes, like, the whole movie. You know, there's certain other things where if you actually just watch it for the fact that you know that there's trademark Michael Bay things that are just going to show up.
Yep.
You're just like, okay, it is what it is. Okay, look, more Michael Bay trademark shit. Okay. But I understand if it was something that, like, I really, really, really was like, that's my passion, that's my love, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, it was tough to see a slow descent, which is why Bumblebee was a breath of fresh air. So.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that movie got right.
Yeah, and I think I sent you over a link. I did not get a chance to read it. IDW and Hasbro made an announcement about a new direction on Transformer comics.
Yeah, because the reboot is not receptive to the fans, so they're changing it because a lot of the fans liked what they were doing with More Than Meets the Eye and Lost Light. Maybe not so much so, Lost Light to a lesser extent, but there's one series that was probably the best piece of Transformers comics we got in a very long time, called Last Stand of the Wreckers, and IDW, that's probably their highest pedestal, I think, in their benchmark of their run of their Transformers series. But IDW still isn't. Yeah, they hit the hard big red reboot button late last year, early this year, and it's been lukewarm. Sales are not as strong, so they're taking it in another direction, and I'm all right. I'm not reading it actually, so which is proof enough that I'm not really interested. So
no, that's fine.
Until I hear word that things are good, then maybe I'll wait and get a trade paperback. But until then, I'm not not hurrying up to read any of it yet.
No, I totally get it. I feel that way about a lot of the Star Wars material that comes out in comics. Because for a while, I mean, they might have been good for a while. They might have been good stories, but honestly, it was like none of this stuff means anything, or none of this stuff really seems to matter. It's just stories. And then for a while, when they didn't have movies and they were doing expanded universe and they were doing it through the comics and books, it was kind of cool. But
now that the sequels are coming and the other stories, and they can pick and choose, they can cherry pick out of the EU. So, well. So okay, so you say you saw a movie.
I did.
Cool for school.
Well, obviously we mentioned it a couple times because I know you and Ivan had both seen Toy Story 4, and I finally got a chance to see it. And I gotta tell you, I mean, I get there were certain things about it that certainly were interesting and worthwhile, and it was certainly a good, technically sound movie, but maybe expectation was high. I don't know why people were like, it was so amazing, it was so incredible, and I'm kind of like, I don't know. I just didn't. I mean, there's a couple aspects where there's feels, but really, I'm like.
I think this one had a lot of comedy. I think you'd agree that the laughs were good in this film.
Yeah, some of them were. I think the interesting part was I had seen somebody I know took their 14-year-old kid, and their kid said, this is a Pixar movie for grown-ups. And you know what? They're right.
Maybe it is.
And you know what? This movie feels like this wasn't... I mean, kids will enjoy it, but I don't think kids were the target audience in this movie this time.
Right, because the people who saw the first one back in 1995, they're adults now.
Right.
Well, physically.
Right. But I think I think there was a little too much fan service to the people who started watching these back in the 90s, and I think it lost some of the childlike splendor to it. The other thing that I thought was interesting, and maybe I'm reading too much into this, okay? It's like, really, this movie focused, at the end of the day, this movie really focused on a few characters, and of the few characters, only 3 of them were really reoccurring characters from previous movies. Which is Bo Peep, Woody, and Buzz. And as it is, Buzz kind of takes a back seat.
And Jesse to a lesser extent. And they did try to make Jesse more, I mean, maybe Buzz more too, with his subplot with his inside voice. You know, where he'd press his button and he'd get a hint as to how to proceed next without Woody, because Woody was usually the leader of their gang. Right.
Well, and that's, like I said, I just thought it was interesting because, you know, otherwise it's Kaboom, a new character. It's the 2 Fuzzies.
Yeah, Ducky and Bunny, yeah.
Right, which are, Key and Peele, right?
Key and Peele, that's right.
Okay, so new characters again, and then, you know, the little thing, the little character that I can't remember the
Gabby.
name. Yeah, no, not Gabby. The one that hangs out with Bo Peep.
Oh, the little, like the Pocket Polly kind of girl.
Yeah, the little thing, yeah.
Giggles, I think. Giggle McDimples, I think, is her name.
Sounds like, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just, to me, I'm sitting there going, what? We know this is the last Toy Story movie, so we're going to just make sure that we have as many new characters in this part of the movie so that we can, like, sell new product or something? Is that the plan?
Maybe. I mean, Toy Story is about...
It felt like it.
They've been making toys for Toy Story for the longest time.
Right. So it's like...
They didn't make enough for the first one.
I guess. Well, no, I mean, to me, I'm just kind of thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, so... Because it's like, a lot of the older characters just don't do much.
Yeah, we didn't see much of Slinky or Ham or Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head.
Right. Well, I know part of it was with Rickles. There's only so much you could do.
Yeah.
Because they were using old audio from Don Rickles to make
Rex,
it work.
And some of the other characters that came from Bonnie's room, like Trixie and Mr. Prickle Pants. So.
Right. A lot of those characters don't get... Oh, I'm sorry. And Forky obviously takes up...
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
That
was the focus of.
Right. I mean, that's kind of my point, which is it's like you introduced a whole bunch of characters in the third movie, and then really it was kind of like, okay, are we gonna get to learn a little bit anything more about Bonnie? I mean, we kind of got to know a little bit about Bonnie, but not really. You know, I don't know. I just.
So out of 5 Yeah Mans, what do you give it?
I give it 3.
Okay.
I give it 3.
So
I can't...
not your favorite Toy Story, not my favorite Toy Story, but...
No, honestly, no. And you know what's funny? I don't... And the funny part is, I don't mind the confident, badass Bo Peep, okay? Which I know that there are certain people that if you start looking across Disney, okay, if you start looking across Disney at their properties, okay, if you're a guy, it's like, really? Because everything now is about badass female hero chicks, which, in fairness, okay, it's nice to have those. But I thought it was kind of interesting because what I thought was interesting was, okay, Bonnie replaces
Andy.
Bonnie replaces... Well, not only that, but Bonnie replaces Woody as her number one favorite toy. And she doesn't, and he's not the sheriff anymore.
Right.
It's Jesse, and to me, it's interesting to me because there's all this talk about girls should be able to play with boy toys and boys should be able to play with girl toys. And it's interesting because all of a sudden Jesse's the sheriff. Why is Jesse the sheriff? Because Jesse's a girl and Bonnie's a girl. I don't like going here, but it's the problem is the overarching narrative that I keep catching from Disney on this stuff. And it's like, what about the other side of it, which is about general neutrality and gender rules about toys? But again, that's a larger conversation. But yeah, I don't know. There was just some things that didn't sit well. I'm okay with how it ended. I'm okay, I guess, with how it ended. But yeah, it's kind of funny because really, in reality, yeah, I don't know how you do another. I don't know how you would do another fifth movie.
Yeah, I don't see how there's a way to reunite the two teams now.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing I can think of,
or if they do like specials, like one special for the other, because they have done a couple of ABC direct to TV ones.
Yeah, but even then, it's like, okay, unless the idea is, okay, now you have two different versions of Toy Story.
Yeah.
God, I hope not. God, I hope that's
the
not
Toy Story cinematic universe.
Right. And the funny part is, there's somebody who thought that one through. There's somebody who sat there and said, hey, you know what? Now we could run 2 entirely different stories about Toy Story. You know, somebody thought about it, because I can't be the only one. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I enjoyed it for what it was.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Ivan, maybe to a slightly lesser extent, but it gave me the feels at the end, and not so much as bad as Toy Story 3. That was pretty brutal for me.
Yeah.
But no, I like the Toy Story franchise. As far as I'm concerned, they've done nothing but good stuff for Toy Story, so.
Yeah, like I said, I think maybe it's because I saw it later than everybody else, and there was way too much of that. Oh, it was so amazing, and I'm just like, what was everybody else watching? I don't know. Yeah, again, maybe I'm a harsh grader at this point. Yeah. By the way, as of now, I'm like, I'm hemming and hawing about whether I want to see Lion King in the theaters. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I mean, I might be done for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, with these live action remakes with a lot of stuff like frame for frame, shot for shot. Apparently, Lion King has a lot of that. So.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it made a lot of money this past weekend. So.
Shit, yeah, it did. Holy crap.
Good for it. But you know, there's a part of me where I'm looking at the rest of the schedule. It's like, I like The Rock. I like Jason Statham. I'm still very leery about whether or not I want to see this Hobbs Shaw thing at all.
I feel like I've already seen it.
Yeah.
All the times I've seen that trailers.
Right. That's the other thing. That's funny, too, because it's like I feel like they needed it to get people to buy in. At the same time, I'm like, boy, I feel like I've seen a lot of the movie.
Yeah.
At the same time, so it's kind of weird. I don't know if you saw, and I don't know when this is coming out. I don't know if you saw this new trailer from some Seth Rogen movie with the kids who have to learn how to kiss and they're trying to go to the party.
No, I've not seen it. What's the name of the film?
I think I put it on our thing. Hold on.
It's on the Squares of the Round Table Facebook page?
I think it is.
Maybe?
It was early on at the beginning, before the beginning of Comic-Con. And I'm constantly getting, of course, at all times, I'm not getting anything that shows me this. Watch, I'll find it. Give me a second. Eventually, I will find this thing, right? I can't remember the name. Hey, have you seen Krypton at all lately, or no?
It's on the DVR. I've not had time to. I've not given myself the time to watch it yet.
You know, gotta tell you.
So slow going?
Yeah, not. Yeah, you're not. You don't need to be in a hurry. I mean, there's certainly some aspects that I'm enjoying, but it's not where you need to be in a hurry for this thing. Hold on. Wow, why can't I find this thing? This is annoying. I hate when this happens. When you're like, yeah, that thing. What thing? Oh, that movie. You've seen the trailers.
No, not. What's the thing?
Right, exactly.
Show me the thing. I can't show you the thing.
Well, and the worst part is it's like, oh, sure, my feed has 1 million of it all the time, and yours doesn't. This is the one time where I'm like, okay, where the hell is it? But it looked kind of funny. I just saw an ad for it, too, on TV, and I'm like...
With Seth Rogen?
Yeah, I think he produced it. It's like a bunch of 12-year-old kids, and they're just saying all the things that you shouldn't say that you're a 12-year-old kid. It was kind of funny. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this freaking thing. That's not it. This is killing the show. Right here. This is killing the show.
Find the thing.
Find the thing. Where's the thing? Damn you. The worst part is it's like scrolling and I can't remember the name of it. Oh, was it? What was it called? What was it called? He said, like, freaking out, trying to figure it out. No.
Good Boys?
We'll talk. Yes, that's the one. Thank you. Yeah, there it is. Actually, it was on Thursday. Yeah, this Good Boys thing. I don't know. This looks pretty freaking funny. This thing looks pretty good. But I have a feeling I might want to watch it later. I still am interested in The Kitchen, too. Which is coming out on the 9th. That's the one. I think you've seen those trailers, too, right?
Did for the, was it Melissa McCarthy?
Yeah, the Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, where they play they're ganged up or whatever.
They're mafia.
Crime bosses,
wives, and they take over. And that looks interesting. That I might go to the theater to see. If there's a part of me where I'm half tempted to go see Stuber for $6, but
yeah, I almost tempted to go see that last week, and I'm like,
Yeah, this is the point where I'm definitely not in a I will not pay full price for anything mode.
Yeah, I think after Spider-Man, I'm like, okay, I'm tapping out. I'm done with summer movies for a while.
No, I get it. I totally get it.
Seemed like from February, March, all the way through like 2 weeks ago, I'm like, sheesh.
Yeah.
I need a break.
Like I said, that kitchen thing looks interesting.
Yeah, it does.
So I'm willing. That's the only thing that's on my radar that I'm really like, okay, yeah, totally. All right, I guess we should get to Comic-Con stuff.
Yeah, let's hit the. We're gonna dig down deep into the big Pringles can of San Diego Comic-Con. We're gonna grab every crumb that we can get with our long hands and our tiny fingers, reaching all the way down to the bottom of the can.
Wow. Well, we're going to try to do that, but I have a feeling we're not going to get that far. So, I guess we could start with Wednesday night. I guess Batman, because of the 80th anniversary, was inducted into the Comic-Con Hall of Fame. I didn't even know Comic-Con had.
I know it had one. Like 50 years. You think you put Batman in a Hall of Fame? I think it might have been like first or second.
I think it is. I think this is the first time they've done a Hall of Fame.
Okay, then. Yeah, then that makes sense then.
Right. I think they just started this thing.
They're just making this shit up just as a...
I don't know. Again, this is the part where it's like, you see some of the stuff, it's like, okay, do we... I don't know. I just...
Batman is a popular comic book character. We're going to make a Hall of Fame for comic book characters. Like, what? All right. All right, they can do that, the Hall of Fame thing over there. Okay,
so wait, a ceremony included inducting Batman into the Comic-Con Museum Hall of Fame. The first fictional character to be awarded the honor was a crowning moment at a gathering. A special celebration doubled as a preview of the Batman Experience Power. Well, okay. So apparently, that will eventually become the physical home for the Comic-Con Museum during this year's San Diego Comic-Con and a fundraiser for the museum. So I guess it's not. I guess they only bring it out during the convention. But I'm curious what's in the Hall of Fame, because I did not know that there was a Comic-Con Hall of Fame.
Neither did I until I saw the headline that Batman's in it now.
Yeah, is it bad that the first time I'm aware?
That doesn't matter. I mean, we know that... I don't know. It's okay. Let them have their Hall of Fame. And people want to go to like the museum when there's not a Comic-Con to go to. Then they can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I don't know if that exists, though. I don't think it exists.
It's not yet. The Comic-Con Museum or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the other thing. Okay, so let's kind of stick with the comic book stuff real fast, and then we'll get to
all the trailers and all
the other goodness, but. Yeah. And in fairness, I got to be honest with you, it was really hard to get good synopses this year on what's happening with the comic stuff in regards to like some of the DC movings and comings and shakings in terms of the comics. I had a hard time with a lot of what was done because it turned into like basically somebody putting their Twitter feed on the damn thing, on some of these things. So it's like, give me a real freaking synopsis. I don't want to have to read this like by time.
Yeah, I shouldn't have to read like a series of tweets by.
Yeah, I mean, I understand you're writing this as you go to do real time. How about at some point you like rework this thing? Stop being lazy. Well, what am I saying?
Write an article.
Yeah, no, we're not going to write an article. Why should we spend more money that way?
I'm going to put out 15 tweets and then cut and paste them all together to my feed, and then that'll be the story, quote unquote.
Right. No, absolutely. So, yeah. So it's hard for me to catch up with that. The one thing I did catch was, so the Eisners happened, which is kind of like a big deal for comic book writers and artists and books and whatnot. And the real big story, the only reason I'm bringing this up is the real big story out of that is Tom King won 4 of them for all his work. Some of it Batman, some of it for Vision, for the Vision work, the work on Vision that he did. But he won 4 of them, so really he's kind of the big winner of the night, as he should be. By the way, in case you're not aware, Mike, that's the guy who wrote Batman 50, and is doing the big Batman story that has been going on in Batman.
Okay. You mean like the wedding that led up to issue
50? Yeah, the
50?
wedding and all that stuff. All that stuff. That's Tom King was supposed to do a 100-issue run, and then it got cut short, and nobody's really saying why. But there is going to be a new Batman Catwoman book that he's going to be writing, and then my understanding is that he is going to be one of the writers and scripters for a New Gods movie that is being worked on by Warner and DC, which, if they're letting Tom King do it, it should be really, really good, because Tom's a phenomenal writer, and like I said, to me, I just think it's vindication in some ways, because I feel like they pulled him off before he was able to finish his story. He wanted to do a 100-story arc on Batman, and I'm not exactly sure what happened. And I kind of feel like it wasn't like he was telling a bad story. So, I don't know. But, so there's that. The other thing is, I guess Alan Moore is going to retire.
Alan Moore has done stuff since what, the 70s? Or
yeah, I mean, Alan Moore's Superman stuff is some of the best Superman work you've ever seen. I mean, the one episode in the Justice League, the one where Batman and Wonder Woman and all those people bring him gifts, and then Mongol puts the one gift on him that basically makes him think that he's back on Krypton with a family.
Oh, he wrote that episode.
That's originally from.
Oh, originally from
comics.
His story. Okay.
Yeah, it was adapted from the comics.
Okay.
And he wrote that one. And then the last real uber pre-crisis Superman story, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, is a classic. So his Superman writing, his Swamp Thing writing in the early 80s is really, really solid. I mean, that's some of like the classic Swamp Thing stuff. Then we start to get to the obviouses, which is you've got Watchmen, V for Vendetta, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Keep forgetting that's DC.
No, it's not. League
Okay.
of Extraordinary Gentlemen is not. V for Vendetta, I think, was Vertigo. Well, I don't remember what it was. I don't think it was Vertigo. I don't remember who was publishing it. But League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. But yeah, and Alan Moore had a big beef with DC, because there was something about, after a certain amount of time, the Watchmen characters were supposed to revert back to him, and then DC put out a Who's version on Watchmen about the characters, and they claimed that was new material, so that they were able to keep the rights to Watchmen, and it pissed off Alan Moore.
That's kind of sucks.
Well, yeah. But Alan Moore, in some ways, has been the crusty guy for decades that way. Like, he didn't want any profits from the Watchmen movie. I can't remember if he was pissed off about, in the end, what V for Vendetta looked like in the theaters. I know he wasn't happy about Lee. I mean, he's never happy about stuff. He's created some of the best stuff ever. And it's like, he's never happy. He's always pissed off about it. It's never how he wanted it, and you get the idea. And I mean, I get it. When you've created some phenomenal pieces like that, I get it. But it's like,
he's still set in his ways.
Yeah. So he's finishing out League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and that's it. And supposedly he's done. Sadly, I'd love to see one more run on Superman, but that ain't ever going to happen. That's not going to happen. I mean, yeah, no way. So, yeah, he's done. Which is kind of sad. He's had one hell of a run. So I would say those are the kind of the bigger things. And then, again, they're revamping the X universe, the X-Men in comics. Gee, I wonder why.
That reboot's coming.
Yeah, well, they're rebooting the comic, and then that'll give them plenty of time when the time comes to figure out what they're going to do with them in TV and movies again. So we'll see. Yeah, like I said, I didn't get much on the comic stuff, so I guess let's go to the other stuff. Where do you want to start?
Well, didn't they give? Wasn't there like a Marvel announcement about? Oh, what was it? Well, you did kind of touch on that.
Marvel 1000.
Yeah,
is that what you're thinking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
I forget. Is that coming like in October? I think. That doesn't matter.
I can't remember.
But is it true? I think it's still true that DC is outselling Marvel's books.
I don't know about that.
I think it's
I can't. No, I
forget.
don't know.
I haven't seen the numbers, so I can't remember.
Right, I haven't seen numbers in a long time, and yeah.
It don't matter.
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I've never really been one for the DC versus Marvel fight in some ways. Like, there's some people who are like, the DC movie sucked. Marvel rules. And it's like, really? Seriously?
You're going there?
Really? Why? Don't you understand that if we have more stuff, it's good? I don't understand. I've never understood that one. So.
There's purest one or the other. Short-sightedness is what I see.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm convinced some of it is kids who just don't know any better. Kids who have never had to deal with, you can't get any good, decent cartoons.
Well, then there's the crusty old guys who still clutch their older comics, and they see this MCU as just a bunch of normies latching on to this new popular stuff.
Yeah. God forbid we should get some new blood and people actually want to read things.
They changed this. They changed that. Why is this person like that? Why can't it be like the old comic books that I'm clutching from the 70s and 80s? Anyway.
Look, there's sometimes when certain things are done or not done that you sit there and you go, oh, God, I really wish they wouldn't have done that or this or that. But yeah, I mean, there's certain stories where it's like, yeah, I'm glad they're doing it. Just don't screw it up too bad, please. Please. Or don't do things where later I'm like, no, what in the hell were you thinking? I mean, like, obvious things. Like, don't give Batman nipples.
Poor George.
God, he should have been the best one, too.
He should have. That's the Bruce Wayne we thought we wanted.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what the worst part is? By that point, it was so commercialized, it's really too bad because they could have done like more of a secret agent Batman thing where he had to go undercover as Batman, as Bruce Wayne, and kind of done it that way for a bit at times.
Right.
And that could have been interesting, but, they wanted ridiculous big budget, over-the-top stuff.
And crazy, campy dialogue.
Yeah, they wanted all that stuff.
I saw on YouTube, somebody put on the internet a supercut of all of Arnold's ice puns as Mr. Freeze, and it's just cringeworthy. God. It's bad.
Yeah, it's
so they went total camp. So yeah, Batman and Robin almost killed the superhero movie franchise. It did for a while.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It did.
So San Diego Comic-Con, a lot of trailers and a lot of stuff came out of this weekend. Seemed like it was just a constant stream of me working while I'm at work, looking down at my phone saying, oh, look, a new trailer I'll have to watch later.
Yeah. Where do you want to start?
Well, I'll start where I said last week, saying, I hope they show something from Picard. Yeah. And they delivered. And I am super duper excited for this Picard series. Did I miss
something? Because I saw a trailer, but I don't feel like they gave us much out of it.
That's a teaser. That's what it is. But it's still... It still takes place in the Prime universe, and whether the Romulan homeworld, I think, is gone, because that's what happens in the Kelvin timeline, but it doesn't matter, so... But I'm just super excited. They didn't show much from Season 3 Discovery, because I don't think they've started filming it yet.
No, so, I get the impression that could be a while, from what I understand. So something about them being 1,000 years in the future?
That's right, that's how Season 2 ended. They had to jump forward in time to save the timeline because of the machine-like threat that was as it infiltrated Section 31 or something like that. But Season 2 of Discovery was definitely better than Season 1. You can jump right into 2 without having to watch much of Season 1.
Okay.
Anyway,
I thought it was interesting to see who was coming back for Picard.
Yes.
I don't know if you caught some of the list of names.
I've caught, obviously the trailer showed, obviously Brent Spiner as Data, Jerry Ryan as 7 of 9, and apparently Hugh from that, I think it's been a couple episodes of TNG, where Hugh was the one Borg they separated from the collective and caused all the crazy chaos, and then Lore was running the Borg for a while, or at least a small group of it, but... That could be interesting, but Hugh, I'm like, okay. But Marina Sirtis and Jonathan Frakes said they are in for the first season, so hopefully we'll get to see more alum from TNG. And I'm all for it.
Yeah, it would be interesting to be able to use that series to build in new characters to move on from that piece.
I'm sure they're going to bud some. You see a lot of fresh faces in this trailer too. A lot of young people hanging out with old Picard. So.
Well, yeah, I would almost think that in some ways it's funny. I really kind of would think that he would be like some professorial guy with tenure at Starfleet Academy who was the most popular. They joke in The West Wing about in the movie The American President about, if I didn't get you out of there, you'd be the most popular history professor in the history of the University of Wisconsin. And I kind of feel like that's what Picard would be at Starfleet. Is kind of like that.
Yeah, just this old sage, But I guess he went back to his vineyard. So.
Yeah. But given the fact of how quickly you can move from your vineyard to Starfleet, they got transporter tubes. It only takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, we'll find out, and I'm really looking forward to it. That's probably the one thing I was like, yay, from Comic-Con.
So I guess before we go to where I go, yay, I'll kind of go a little bit time.
You want to go chronological in any order it happened?
Yeah, well, a little bit. I'll try to vary a little bit, but I'm kind of going through trailers just to make sure that I remember what I watched. Tom Cruise kicking it off with the new Top Gun movie that's coming out. I'm in. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm in.
I'll watch it.
I'll watch it. That was interesting enough.
It was an interesting trailer. It was a good trailer for a film that looks like a lot like a film I saw 30 years ago.
Yeah, and you know what? But you know what? There was enough there. It's a well-done trailer.
Yeah.
And I was in. And you know what? I'm interested in finding out what happened. So you know what? Yeah, you got me. I'm good with that. I know some people are like, oh, why do we need a reboot with all this? It's like,
it's not a reboot.
Well, or why do we need to revisit this? And it's like, you know what? do you understand at the time Top Gun was like godlike?
Yep, I remember summer 1986.
Yeah, I mean, that movie...
I built a model kit of that F-14.
Right. I mean, in today's world, Top Gun, in terms of numbers, would be like... I'd be curious with adjusted inflation what the numbers would look like today. And today's numbers with Top Gun. That'd be interesting. But anyway, and then, you know, it was funny. I wasn't in on a new Jay and Silent Bob movie until I saw this trailer.
Yeah, you know, I did see Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I've not watched all of the View Askew universe or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I did like Clerks 1 and 2. I never saw Chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy is a good movie.
I saw I never saw Mallrats either in its entirety.
In fairness, you don't need to see Chasing Amy or Mallrats to understand what happens in...
Yeah, I've seen Dogma and the Clerks films.
Yeah.
And Strike Back, but not... Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna see Jay and Silent Bob reboot. If actually they sold tickets, of course, over Comic-Con weekend, of a miniature tour that Kevin and Jay Muse are gonna do. And they had one that was in a theater in Chicago. Of course, it sold out instantly.
Yeah.
The general admission was $50, but they had a meet and greet, like a VIP meet and greet, like really limited run of tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And they were $800 each.
$800 to see Kevin Smith and
Jay Muse.
Jay Muse. Wow. No, not
Jason,
not
or is it
that.
Jason? No.
Jason. It's
Jason, not Jay. So yeah, like wow, that sold out fast. So
I do like it's funny. I was like, you know what? I don't know that we needed a Jay and Silent Bob movie until I saw this trailer. It's like, oh, I get it. It's funny. I'll go with it. This could be amusing. Okay, this could be fun.
Yeah, I remember watching one episode of that short-lived Clerks animated series he did.
Yeah, that was supposed to be really good, but I never really watched it.
Yeah, I watched one episode and I was like, meh, shrugged. It was all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it was crashed and burned, but...
Yeah, well, and my understanding is there's things in there that the network was not so happy about either.
Yeah.
From what I understand.
Which I guess some stuff they got under the wire that
the South
network
Park was like,
couldn't...
Whoa, hey, wait a minute. Yeah.
Well, that's part of the parcel of what you get with Kevin's line of humor, so...
Yeah. Before we get to the next thing that I'm thinking about with trailers... anything on toys, because I've seen a couple things that immediately make me go, ooh, I might want that, but I probably won't buy it anyway.
Hasbro had a huge display for their Unicron and crowdfunding, the thing they got going on there. Right now we're at about 21% funded, and just using the sailing barge as a metric for all that. We talked about this last week, and... they had an interview with John Warden, who's like the lead designer there at Hasbro, and he's working with the people with Takara Tomy, because they release it over in Japan, and that was interesting. And they had a lot of Hasbro pre-orders go up over the weekend. Nothing went up for sale, as far as I know, but a lot of pre-orders for later in the month. And the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, which was the Ghostbusters Optimus Prime crossover. It was like, I don't need that. But yes, I am in on that Marvel Legends wave with the Fat Thor as the Build-A-Figure.
Yeah, that's where I was going next.
Yes.
With this, which is, yeah, Fat Thor is definitely something I'm thinking.
Though the Fat Thor balance a miniature bowl of guacamole on his belly, though?
I don't think it can. Now, it'd be cool if it came that way.
Yes.
Where it had a bowl of guacamole and it was in a seated position.
Yes. We'll have more Thor talk later here in a little bit. But I
did see the one Funko, though, that I liked, too.
Yeah, you do have a Lebowski Thor Funko Pop, yeah.
Right, I'm not a big Funko guy, but the Jaws one was hysterical. I don't know if you saw it.
Yes, I did see that, yeah.
Yeah, that looks funny. That I would consider, where the guy's half eaten and his Jaws on the other end. That was good. Okay, let's get to the most controversial trailer that kind of broke the internet. I don't know if you really want to talk about this or not.
The controversial trailer that broke the internet.
Because nobody's really sure what to think of this thing.
Oh, yes, the Cats trailer. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God.
Wow. It's like...
I couldn't watch it. After a little while, I was just like, no, I can't do this.
I saw a couple of still frames. I watched some of it with the sound off, and I'm like, whoa. It's like Snapchat filters gone horribly wrong.
There's gonna be real push for this movie to do well.
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog was like, oh, good. No one's paying attention to me anymore.
Yeah, seriously. Because and the worst part is there's too many people that want to push that. No, it's good. And people are like, I don't know. I don't know what the hell I was watching here. And the problem is they've got big enough star names.
Yeah, they've got Jennifer Hudson, Idris Elba, and the Taylor
James
Swift.
Corden and Judi Dench.
And
Taylor Swift. Right, exactly. Yeah. So I just feel like... I'm sorry. Apparently See, this is the problem. You have Rebel Wilson in this movie. This should be your cue. Your clue.
And Sir Ian McKellen will have a bit role.
Will he really? God.
Yes. As like one of the older cats.
Yeah.
So a lot of star power, but just the look, the aesthetics just are too jarring.
I mean, now I will admit, I saw Cats as a kid. I didn't like it then either. Okay? I really was not. I mean, I like. There's a lot of music, and you know me. I like a lot of musicals. Cats is not one of the ones that I found interesting. And everybody else is like, oh, Cats, and I'm like, I don't get it. And I think that's the funny part. I heard somebody sit there and say, I don't get it. It's like, you know what? That's right. Nobody really gets that freaking musical, and nobody understands what it's about. And it's funny. I heard somebody sit there and say the other day. It's like, well, there'll be real dialogue in it, right? Maybe we'll know what the hell's finally going on in this stupid thing. Can't we just do a musical?
I'm not saying this in a derogatory sense, but I'm sure that the anthropomorphic community will enjoy it.
Oh yeah, no.
So in 2 weeks, when we get Ivan back here, our resident anthropomorphic enthusiast, I'm not going to use the F word.
Yeah.
Ivan will give us. Well, I'd be interested to get his opinion on this.
Yeah, we'll have to remember.
But just not for me. Throwing the hands up. No, not for me.
Yeah, I have this weird feeling I'm going to get dragged to this by family, and I'm like, I'm gonna be like kicking and screaming on this one. I really am. I'm gonna be like, nope. I mean, unless there's some really phenomenal reviews from some people, and they're like, I don't want to do this.
I'm sure the music will be good, but just the visuals are just jarring.
Yeah. Well, and I don't like a lot of the songs in Cats either. That's the other problem I have. It's like, Memories is a great song. I don't want to hear it again. Ever. In my lifetime. It's like, oh God. If there's any song that we don't, it's like, just when we might be finally getting rid of the Titanic song, now we're going to have Cats, and Memories is going to be on the radio everywhere for like months.
We can only hope not.
Oh no. And the question is, who's singing that song? God forbid it's Taylor Swift.
I don't know whose character is what, so I don't know. I'm not familiar.
I don't know
so.
Which character it is, but you know what it is? I bet it's Jennifer Hudson. We're never going to hear the end. That song's going to play especially because it's coming out at Christmas. We're going to hear that song for 2-3 months. Oh my God, my head is about to explode already.
Just turn the radio off, Jeff. That's what all you have to do.
Yeah, you know that never works.
Yeah.
Oh, it's everywhere. Yeah.
It'll compete whatever the new Frozen song is.
Oh, God. Oh, that was the other thing. There was the Frozen.
It's okay. So let's. What other else we saw at? They dropped at Comic-Con. At the Comic-Con.
Two movies I really have no desire. If there were two movies that you could put back to back to make me sit there and go, oh God, oh no, it would be Frozen 2 and Cats the musical. Right. I might kill somebody.
Now, I'm not much for horror, but they did release the trailer for It 2.
Yeah, I'm not a horror guy either, so that wasn't something I watched, but I know there are people who are big on that, so I know we passed it along.
And we know Stranger Things 4 is coming next year.
Yes, I've not seen... I'll be honest, I haven't seen 2 or 3. I really was not a fan of 1. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great.
Everyone I've talked to watched it, they all love it. And they say, Mike, you have to watch it because it's in the 80s. I'm like, no, I don't need to watch it. I lived the 80s. I don't need to.
Yeah, really.
I don't need to. I need to have this, like, remember berries or whatever.
They re-released a box set for D&D because of that thing.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they put out a Stranger Things edition of Dungeons & Dragons.
Which is crazy.
Let's see what else. We got a featurette from the Terminator Dark Fate.
Dark Fate.
Oh! You have the Dark Fate.
Not really. Now we have
So they see like a little behind the scenes footage and a lot of people swearing because Terminator Dark Fate will be rated R. Dark Fate. I think it's on an episode, the title this week.
Oh yeah, no, that's the Comic-Con Dark Fate.
Comic-Con Dark Fate. So okay, yeah. And I guess Eddie Furlong is going to reprise his role as John Connor. So good on him. I'm still like arms folded. Fine, I'll go watch it. I'm not. I've lowered expectations because
I don't care enough anymore.
I do care enough because I love this franchise. I love the franchise, and the franchise being the first 2 films, but the other 3 have sucked ass.
Yeah,
so,
well, that's why I think I've gotten to the part where I'm like, I don't know.
4th times, I cannot. No, it's battered wife syndrome with me in the Terminator franchise.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this one is going to be good. I don't know.
Well, we're kind of been in that realm of, we talked a little bit about horror, but we'll take 2 seconds to talk about Walking Dead. So the Caesar 10 trailer is out, and I didn't really get a chance to check it, but I guess the big 2 pieces is there's a 3rd Walking Dead show coming up.
Of course.
That they're putting out. And the bigger news is those Rick Grimes movies that we thought were going to be on AMC, they're talking about putting in the real theaters.
I don't know. Well, we'll see. They'll let them put one out and see if it's any good. But I don't think this I don't know if it has a strong enough fan base anymore. The Walking Dead has been on TV for so long. It's like, well, I don't know. Like, I think I equate this to the Simpsons movie. Like, they put out a Simpsons movie and it was just okay.
Oh,
but
I
it was
like
the
Simpsons
Simpsons
movie. I still think it's one of the better. I still enjoy. I feel like that's the last really great Simpsons thing they put out. But
I still like just watch Treehouse of Horrors.
Yeah, and by the way, apparently Treehouse of Horrors is going to be it's going to basically reference all 3 seasons of Stranger Things.
Okay.
It's going to spoof all those seasons.
Simpsons did it.
Simpsons did it. So there you go.
Things we saw at Comic-Con that sucked. Orville's moving to Hulu for season 3.
That's interesting.
We were worried about being canceled. Well, hopefully, no, thumbs up. It's not canceled, but it's on Hulu. So I'm like,
well, but in some ways, this may be a blessing in disguise, because we are talking about the fact that Fox, which is now Disney, 20th Century Fox, which is now Disney, owns that. Maybe their thought process was, hey, you know what? We're going to bring it in-house, and we own Hulu, and it's really clear that they they're trying to find a way to brand Hulu, as well as Disney Plus. And
this is a good way because a lot of there's a niche of the Star Trek fandom that likes the Orville, and I'm part of that. So
right. What will be interesting is one of the reasons that there was a niche for it is people didn't want to pay money to watch
Discovery
or whatever the heck it is. And now I don't know enough about Hulu to know whether or not that's behind a paywall or you can watch it for free or what the story is with that. So I don't know. So I'm not sure.
Other things that I saw at Comic-Con that sucked. Apparently somebody hired an airplane.
Oh, God. Yeah.
To send a message to the people down below attending Comic-Con.
They spent over $1,000 on that.
To have a skywriter on the plane send a message reading, "Release the Snyder Cut."
Good freaking Lord. Good freaking Lord.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think so.
That's money wasted.
Maybe
if it was 20 people who put in like $50 or something.
See, the problem that I'm having with this is every time I feel like it's just certain individuals and certain like clickbait stuff, then something like that happens. And you're like, really? I mean, I don't know. I mean, if there's really that many people out there that want it, go ahead and put it out. Go ahead and put it out. If I was Warner's, I'd make the money. I'd put it out on DVD and go here, and let's see how many people really watch it. I don't know. I just don't. This is going to be like.
Well, the way Warner Brothers and DC are desperate to fix their DC film franchises, maybe. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So,
the problem is I don't care, and the problem is that every time I turn around, there's another story about this thing, and there's a freaking airplane or something weird. And it's like, geez, really?
See what else.
Okay.
We got the
obviously there was an end out of the Avengers panel.
Yeah, Saturday night, big to do in Hall H.
Yeah, we hadn't got
people
that
waited for a day and a half.
To go see the Marvel thing?
Over 36 hours, people waited in line.
Yeah.
For an hour and a half, 2 hour panel?
Yeah, but boy, did they bring out... Remember we were talking about this in advance, and we kind of sat there and we kind of said, are they going to really bring out the big news here, or are they going to wait till D23 to bring out some of the bigger news of by the way, $1,100 for that flyover.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Well.
I'm curious as to. Yeah, like I said, I don't think. I was kind of surprised just how much they're gonna do with.
They announced all
how
of
much
Phase
they gave
4.
us, and
yeah.
It's interesting to see what they didn't tell us is coming out for the next couple of years, which was a little surprising.
They said this is all of Phase 4. At least that's what Feige said.
So. Right. No, again, to me, that was the point being is just, I was a little surprised at what is not in Phase 4. As much as what is in Phase 4. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting. Let me ask you a question. What projects are of interest to you?
All of it, pretty much.
All of it?
Except for the Eternals, because I don't know who the hell the Eternals are.
See, this is... Yeah, I'm not... Eternals was not a book I read much of. Shang-Chi is not a book I read much of. I know there are a lot of people who love Blade. I'm just not. I've never gotten the whole Blade thing, and maybe part of it is just because when I think Blade, I think Spider-Man. I think Morbius, and Morbius will not be in a Blade movie because Morbius is a Spider-Man, technically a character. So we're never.
And that's still on Sony's end, so that won't be in this series.
Although it's interesting. It's interesting because the funny part is, if it wasn't for the fact that Sony has greenlit a Morbius movie, it would have been interesting, especially now that Marvel has brought back Blade. If you could have done a Tom Holland Spider-Man movie where it would have introduced Blade and it would have introduced Morbius at the same time, then it could have been interesting.
Maybe,
but that's not happening.
But I'm like I said last week, I want all of it. Give me all of it. I'm really interested about the animated What If series.
Mm-hmm.
Thor 4 was out of left field.
Yeah.
Especially bringing back Natalie Portman.
That's a big shot.
I thought it was like, this is the only way when all the unused footage they used from The Dark World was put into Endgame. It's like, that's the only way we're going to see Jane Foster. At least Natalie Portman Jane Foster. And, here she is. And Taika Waititi gave her the hammer on stage.
Well, and it's interesting to hear how I don't know if you caught some of the stories about how some of this stuff happened. Like, I can't pronounce that guy's name, the guy you just said.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, that guy. I guess he's been reading Jason Arno's run where
of the mighty
Jane Foster became Thor.
Right.
And he really liked it. So honestly, I think that's the only reason why we're getting Natalie Portman back and this is happening. Is because he was like, hey, I got something, let's do something, and Marvel's not dumb. The other thing that was interesting is, and I can't say this guy's name either, I'm having a bad name day. The guy from the Green Book, the black guy that I can't remember his name.
I don't know. The big guy.
The main guy, what's his name? Well, he was something or other. The guy who's won like an Academy Award. But I guess he approached Marvel and said, hey, I want to play Blade. I mean, literally called them and said, I want to play Blade.
Is he the one who was in the Luke Cage series?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, same guy. Played Cottonmouth or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah, from Luke Cage, you're right.
Yeah. No, he's been in a bunch of stuff. Real good, really, really good actor. So apparently he called Feige up and he's like, yeah, I want to be Blade. And Feige, it was funny, I can't remember where I read it, but Feige's like, yeah, somebody like that calls you up and they want to do something. You kind of just sit there and go, sure, let's make that happen. Of the ones that are there, I think Shang-Chi, I want to kind of split it between movies and Disney Plus. Of the movies, and I'll split it between, let's kind of try to split between the new and the returning ones. Of the new things that are going to come out, if you had to order them, what order are you looking at?
So, like, to watch them? First up is the What If series.
Well, no, I'm talking that. See, that's Disney Plus.
Oh, that's Disney Plus. All right, the movies.
So
okay,
the movies are. So the movies are. Hold on, let me pull it up for you. So you
I've got them right here on my screen.
Right. So because really, there's two things. What I've noticed about this, Mike, is there's a method to what they're doing, which is that the reoccurring characters that we know really, really well, if you've noticed, are all on Disney Plus for the most part.
Yeah, they've using a lot, with the exception of Thor and Doctor Strange.
Right. But even that, but part of it being, but even with them, they're, Strange had only had one movie. So it makes sense, especially now that he's been
given a lot more prominence in the Infinity Saga.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, so that made total sense that that's where they were going to go.
But yeah, you're right. They're bringing in a lot of new blood into the films.
Well, it's either new blood. It's interesting because it's new blood, or it's characters they haven't done much with that they originally had out there. Because, okay, you got Black Widow, which still a little confused as to where that is from a time frame perspective.
I think it takes place, I think it's after, I think it's before Civil War, I think.
Okay.
And it's when Black Widow and Hawkeye go to Budapest. Because he says, you and I remember Budapest very, very differently. So maybe it even takes place before the Avengers. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't know when it's coming.
Yeah, we're not sure exactly where in the timeline the Black Widow film takes place.
Clear.
Yeah.
And it's not been clear if any of these things are going to matter about a timeline. Because I know that that's one of the things that they've been frustrated with is there are too many people who keep hitting them on continuity problems when things don't match up according to what they've done previously.
Right.
And they were like, I know I've heard grumblings about, yeah, we're not doing that again, and we're not make that be a problem. Yeah, I like I said, to me, I don't know, the 3 technically new movies, none of them jump out at me. I probably will end up seeing them all, but they're all not characters that I'm sitting there going, ooh, I'm excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not, yeah, I don't.
With the exception to Thor.
Well, see, and that's already been out there. And because Helmsworth's going to be in the movie, he's just not going to be Thor. Or something. I don't know. Because Helmsworth's supposedly in the movie.
Yes, and Tessa Thompson will be back as Valkyrie.
Right. As long as they don't wear their black suits and their black shades, everything should be fine.
Right. Yeah, that's still in the theater or not? Or, geez.
I don't know.
It was here and gone, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, see, like Thor, to me, Thor is already a stabilized franchise, and there's buzz because they're going to have what's-her-name be Thor. That'll get people. Doctor Strange, he'll get people because, you know, the first movie was good, and then he's been in the 2 Avengers movies, and that'll help. And then, like I said, you've got Black Widow. Black Widow's been in freaking up a ton of movies.
I saw a headline saying that the Doctor Strange movie will be somewhat horror kind of.
Well,
genre.
My understanding is Scarlet Witch is going to be in that movie. Is that there's going to be a direct tie-in from the WandaVision thing that they're doing on Disney Plus. And I think that's the one thing they're going to need to be careful about. Is there are going to be people who aren't going to buy Disney Plus, and you know they're still at the end of the day. You still want these people to go watch your tentpole movies, okay? And if they feel like they're missing out because they don't know what's going on your Disney Plus thing, they're not going to come. Or you're going to get less people, and you're not going to get maybe the numbers you think you are. Yeah, I'm more excited about the Disney Plus stuff. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, because it's tried and true. It's established characters.
Well, and I know. Did you hear who the villain is supposed to be for the Winter Soldier Falcon thing?
No.
They're bringing back the guy that played Zemo.
Oh yeah, Baron's okay. Oh yeah. The guy who was.
I liked him, and I thought.
Yeah, he was great in
Civil War.
Yeah, Cassian Andor. Yeah, I liked him.
Okay. I don't know what that was, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited about that. You know, Loki is Loki. But yeah, I think it's interesting. Like I said, to me, what was interesting is there really wasn't much mention about Guardians 3.
Guardians 3, Black Panther 2, Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah, no Spider-Man 3.
Nope.
No Avengers movie.
Yeah, well, Feige did say that the next Avengers movie will be a bunch of characters we haven't seen yet, mixed with some new characters. So we're probably looking at a whole new cast of Avengers for the next film that holds that title.
I just think that there's some things that I understand you want to try to pull out new characters and you're going deep into your well. I feel like there's characters that deserved that you have in your pantheon of characters that I think would have been better choices than this right now. In fairness, part of the problem is that, yeah, you just got access to some characters, and then you've already used some of these characters on Netflix that might have been good choices for movies.
Right.
Like a Luke Cage. Honestly, Luke Cage would have been great, especially because you could have introduced Iron Fist, and then you could have done a Heroes for Hire movie, and maybe you do introduce Daredevil that way, and then maybe you do a Defenders movie, okay, or Jessica Jones or something like that.
Nope, they're letting it wither on the vine.
Well, they're letting it wither on the vine because technically Netflix is involved with those things.
Yep.
So now they're going to have to wait, and they're going to reboot. They're going to have to reboot those things, and that means they're going to have to wait for those things to cool a little while, because people right away are going to go, well, why didn't you bring in so and so, or why didn't you do this, or why didn't you do that? That was good before, and that's a problem. Just like Punisher. Okay, you can't do Punisher because you did Punisher at Netflix.
Speaking of withering, I guess. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is done after its 7th season.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I mean, I watched maybe 3 episodes.
Yeah, I've never really...
I couldn't get into it.
There's an example of where I feel bad, because I think that show got stuck in the middle of basically TV and the movies trying to be one universe, and it didn't really necessarily work. And because that's the problem with the Netflix stuff too, and even whatchamacallit, what was it? What's her name? The Hallie Atwell thing.
Peggy Carter, Agent Peggy.
The Peggy Carter thing, right? A lot of those. That was the problem. Is they
can't compete. They can't keep up on a TV budget. The level of the MCU.
Well, it's not even that. It's okay. It just didn't seem like any of that fit together.
Yeah.
And it never seemed to fit totally together. Or even, see, another thing. Perfect example, Cloak and Dagger. Okay, Cloak and Dagger not available. Cloak and Dagger not available because you're doing that on Freeform. So I mean, I get why you're doing some of the characters you're doing, because you've kind of used some characters that I would think, okay, that'd be an interesting movie. Although I will say, I'm a little surprised. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. No Ant-Man movie either. No Ant-Man 3.
Yeah, I was hoping for something else too. So
yeah,
I said not a lot of familiar faces in the next couple of years. So
right, which is fair. You want to build new sites, but I don't know. To me, I was kind of surprised there was no Moon Knight, which seemed like a really cool idea. I was surprised no Nova. Nova's a really popular cosmic character.
Well, he might tie into Guardians 3.
Maybe.
But if they're going to continue that whole story with Adam Warlock in Guardians 3.
Right. We'll see where they're going to go. And then, I don't know. Honestly, I really feel like they're missing the boat on the fact that they haven't done a She-Hulk movie yet.
Yeah. No, with Ruffalo being done as Banner, I think
is he done?
Well, he says. I think his contract is up. So.
Oh, okay. I'm sure he'll be. I'm sure they could get him back if they needed to. But
yeah.
I wonder if they don't. I wonder if maybe they don't have rights to She-Hulk. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe this is all a Universal problem again.
Yeah, maybe.
That could be the problem.
They might have to introduce She-Hulk in maybe one of the Avengers films.
Right. The problem is then how do you and you might have to do it that way.
Yeah.
Is do it the same way you did it with the Hulk, which is okay. Some woman who's you know what, they might have to wait till an Avengers movie to do it. That's the sad part, because they might have to do it where it's like, oh, she's a cousin of Bruce's and some
right. It's
doctor,
not a standalone. Can't be a standalone film.
Right, and they have to have, and something happens, and they have to give her a blood transfusion, and Bruce is the only one who's got the same kind of blood, and then the next thing you know, boom. And it's too bad, because I think a She-Hulk movie would be awesome.
I think so too. Especially
if they did it like she's Ally McBeal in the day. It's like Ally McBeal meets the Hulk. Okay, because and then the other thing is, in the comics, She-Hulk is like the biggest hoe on the planet. I mean, she gets her freak on a regular basis. The list of boyfriends or sleeping partners that she has is a long ass list.
Well, then that might cause some trouble for Disney, at least putting in the limelight.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they'd figure out a way to do it. But like I said, I think it'd be worthwhile.
Any other news of note here? We can wrap this up.
Yeah. I do have a few things. Jeez, my mind just went poof right then.
Congratulations to Avengers Endgame and all the crap ton of money. It finally beat Avatar.
A couple quick notes, and then we'll get into where I was going to go. A few things. One, I guess the winning cosplay was somebody dressed up as the coffee cup from Game of Thrones. Very clever. I guess the first episode of Riverdale is going to be a tribute to Luke Perry, and Shannon Doherty is going to be on it, and she might be being a reoccurring character. So there's that. And then finally, and this is kind of really we should have ended with Phase 4 stuff, but I gotta be honest, the thing I'm most excited about, and I feel like we still didn't get enough information on it in terms of, I was expecting a trailer. We did not get a trailer for it. But this Crisis on Infinite Earths thing is gonna be freaking amazing. Because every time I turn around,
that they're pulling out all the stops.
They're pulling out names that I'm
swinging for the fences.
Like just today, like before we recorded, I guess Tom Welling and Linda Carter are in.
Now, for those who don't know, Tom Welling, or is it Willing?
Well, whatever. The guy, the Clark Kent Superman from Smallville.
Right. And Brandon Routh.
Well, and Brandon Routh is going to play, and apparently, Brandon Routh is going to play Superman. Not only is he going to play Superman, apparently he's going to play the Kingdom Come Superman.
Yeah,
so that's crazy.
Yeah. I just saw him on a Hallmark, flipping channels, saw him on the Hallmark channel, in one of those sappy Hallmark movies.
I know the new Veronica Mars just came out. We didn't get to that.
We got a Supergirl trailer.
Right, there was a Supergirl trailer. There was an Arrow trailer. There was a Black Lightning trailer. None of which told me much. But the big thing is, like I said, I mean, they keep making announcements about who's going to be in this thing from other wacky places. Like, Burt Ward is going to be in it, and we think he's going to be Robin.
I don't know.
Like, he's going to be, like, older Robin from, like, the 1960s universe. And all that kind of stuff. And they're talking about Linda Carter. We don't know what Linda Carter's going to play. For all we know, she could be older Wonder Woman. We don't know. But they seem to be out there making those types of moves. And
which is something we should have got with a Flashpoint film.
Well, yeah, if they were ever going to do a Flashpoint film. But this is, I mean, for TV, this is pretty...
Yeah, this is a big deal.
This is a big deal, and they keep pulling out names of... And they seem to be going to the well on finding people from other shows where they're gonna go down that road, and they're gonna open it up, and they're gonna make that happen. And to me, I think it's gonna be something special. I really, really do. I'm curious where this is gonna all head to, but yeah, and then finally we need to end on this. So apparently, Lin-Manuel Miranda was at Comic-Con, according to Rob Liefeld, the creator of Deadpool, in disguise all weekend, and nobody knew. And he was dressed up as Deadpool.
Okay.
Which, and the only reason I think that's cool, but let's go to the next part. all right, Disney has rights. Disney puts on Broadway productions. You have the man who created Hamilton, and he's wearing a Deadpool costume. Come on. Let's just get Ryan Reynolds on stage. Deadpool the musical. Let's do it.
Have you seen those shorts? The Beauty and the Beast? Where Deadpool sings the Beauty and the Beast song?
Yes. The Gaston thing, yeah.
Yes. And then there's part 2.
Feels like Deadpool, and no one... Yeah. Oh, no. Absolutely.
And
I mean, if you know he's that much of a fan, and you're Marvel, and you see this today, aren't you making the phone call, and aren't you making it immediately about all this stuff and making this happen? Because, I'm sorry, Ryan Reynolds on stage as a singing Deadpool.
The singing Deadpool.
Well, would be the stuff of legend. It'd be great.
Yeah.
We need this. We all need this. We all need to see this. We need Deadpool the musical. We really do. Maybe we can get Celine Dion to show up. She was on the freaking movie.
She was in the trailer, I think.
She's not. They did a video.
They used her song
but
in
they did
the
video.
film. But then they made a video for the song that she was
in. And it was her and Deadpool. And Deadpool. And he's like, listen, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That was good stuff.
Yeah, so zip it or shut up, Spider, or something like that.
Spider-Man or something
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. No. So I mean, there's enough people who apparently like the character that are high enough on the food chain. Maybe we should do this. Maybe we should put a petition out from the show. Maybe we should demand a Deadpool the musical. And demand like Lin-Manuel Miranda and Disney put this thing together.
Didn't let it happen.
You know what? It doesn't even have to be like a Broadway show. It could be like a one-night-only thing, and then they film it. See, now that's what we're talking about right there. If you filmed it, and then everybody went to the theater,
I think we found a way
live,
to put to get Deadpool into the X-Men. Have his story put in musical form.
That could be.
Yeah.
That was the other thing that didn't get mentioned is there. Everybody's assuring us that we're going to get another Deadpool movie, and nobody's explaining how. We'll see. I am convinced that, I'll tell you right now, I'm pretty sure we'll get a Fantastic Four movie before we get an X-Men movie.
Yeah. There'll be a Fantastic Four, and then by then, hopefully, we'll find out how to put the X-Men in. Maybe redo the what was that show they did 2 years ago and it bombed?
Oh, which show?
They had a show on ABC and it crashed and burned.
Oh, the Inhumans.
Oh, the Inhumans, yes, with the big bulldog.
Yeah.
That's the only way I remember that one with Medusa. That's
See, there's another example. I know the Inhumans. I don't know the Eternals. You screwed up the Inhumans. Now we can't have an Inhumans movie.
But we're going to get the Eternals instead, and everyone's all like, what? Who? Huh?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, well, they got Angelina Jolie. Oh, okay.
And they got Salma Hayek.
Yeah, okay. There's no reason. I mean, at the same time, if the trailer looks good, I'm sure I'm out to go see it. But there's a part of me where it's like, okay, I wanted to see an Iron Man movie. I wanted to see a Captain America movie. Okay, I saw the trailers for Guardians. I laughed my ass off. I wanted to see Guardians. Okay, I wanted to see Doctor Strange. I don't know that I want to see
an Eternals.
Yeah. And I don't know, and Shang-Chi kind of gives me some thought process of like,
I thought for sure we'd get a Namor movie before anything is like third or fourth tier as Shang-Chi.
So the interesting part is there's a rumor out there, and I don't know if there's any truth to this, that Namor could be in the Black Panther 2 movie.
Right. Because there's a scene in Endgame where they talk to Okoye about some disturbance in the ocean. And she's like, we handle it like anything else that happens in the ocean. We don't handle it. We leave it alone.
Yeah. So I think, and that would be interesting because it'd be interesting to have those are two characters that it would be interesting to see them kind of, I wouldn't say clash, but it'd be interesting to see how those two characters would go with one another. But yeah.
It'd be a good way, I think, to introduce.
Yeah. I mean, there were a few other, like I said, there were a few other smaller things, but I don't know that we have time to get to it at this point.
I think I've covered pretty much everything I wanted to take care of at SDCC, and I thought it was good. Did they do any kind of tribute to Stan Lee at the Marvel panel? I mean, this is the first Comic-Con where I don't even know if Stan was there last year, but
I know there were things that were done. Yeah. I can't be,
but he didn't do an official tribute.
You know what? I gotta be honest with you. I'm not gonna say either way because I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, and in fairness, I wasn't. I wasn't paying enough attention.
Yeah. And as I said, we've had this flurry of information coming in since as early as Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, the other part is I laugh about is it's like. The other part I laugh about in some ways is it's like what frustrates me in some ways is I don't even feel like I got a lot of
actual comic news, like you said.
Yeah, I had a hard time finding real comic news in some ways, and that's unfortunate. So we'll see, but
50 Comic-Cons all started in a hotel basement.
Yeah, and now nobody can afford to even stay in the hotel basement.
Right.
All right, so, Mike, where can they find the show, or if they want to do things or say things or write things and or tell us we suck?
We are on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. We're on YouTube. Click the bell, subscribe. You'll know when new episodes drop. We're on Podbean and Anchor. Download the free apps, and you can take us wherever your mobile device would take you. And we're on Facebook, of course, and that's where you'll follow us and our sister show, News of the Squared. Shout out to Scott.
Scott!
That's where you'll get all crazy stories from that show. And, of course, email us at sotrtpodcast@gmail.com.
Okay, well, as you may have heard a little bit, we are going to have a week off. So that means that our next show is going to be the week of...
First full week of August.
August. You know, we're going to be...
So probably around this... I don't know. Let me check my sundial here. The sun's gone down. Dang it, it won't work. No, right around August 7th, I guess we'll get our next podcast.
So, yeah, that's cool. Well, like I said, and obviously I'm looking forward to hearing a little bit about vacation and seeing what we can find out about a refreshed Mike Boyle.
Yeah.
If he finds his secret foe and nemesis, the Mike Edwin.
Yes.
And obviously
my antimatter duplicate from the negative universe.
Yeah, you're the anti Boyle.
And shout out to Ivan.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see you next week. Take care, my friend. And
or
with
2 weeks, you mean?
Yeah, in 2 weeks. Yeah. And I guess that'll do it for episode 61.
Wow, 61.
61. Wowzy dow dow. How about that?
The Dark Feet.